The base genome is a T-Rex, the rest is classified.
You made a new dinosaur, but you don't even know what it is? How long has the animal been in here?
All its life?
Never seen anything outside of these walls?
We can't exactly walk it.
And you feed it with app?
Is there a problem?
Animals raised in isolation aren't always the most functional.
Your raptors are born in captivity.
With siblings, they learn social skills, and I imprint on them when they're born.
Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to talk about something that I've always liked in the first Jurassic World. So the entire fourth entry of the JP series is pretty much centered around our relationships with animals. The movie spends a lot of time developing Claire's understanding on why the creatures that live in Jurassic World are more than just assets. And Owen Grady's animal behaviorist background helps guide her into that understanding during the course of this film's story. How Jurassic World does this is by building off of what went down at the original theme park way back in the early 90s. And it does so in a way that I think is really quite intelligent and entertaining when compared to the first film. So in the original Jurassic Park, the velociraptors of that movie are shown to be bloodthirsty and incredibly dangerous animals. In fact, during all of both Jurassic Park and The Lost World, the raptors don't really do anything except hunt and kill things during their short amounts of screen time. Never do we really see them do anything else that isn't related to aggressively stalking something else on the island. Now, the reason this behavior is so important to Jurassic World is due to the fact that velociraptor behavior is the entire focus of one of the fourth film's characters, Owen Grady. And it's also directly related to how the new hybrid dinosaur acts in that new theme park. So early on in this movie, Owen Grady goes in to inspect the Indominus Rex paddock in order to make sure that it will be safe when it opens to the public. Immediately upon entering the enclosure, Mr. Grady notes a number of red flags that could spell trouble for the park if not properly addressed. Now, Owen is basing all of his critiques off of his own experience with Simon Masrani's raptors, animals that he personally takes care of and often has to prevent from trying to escape. Most of his research was obviously done after the failure of the original Jurassic Park that we saw go down in 1993. And one of the major flaws in that movie's park happened to be how Hammond's men handled the old raptors. You see, after the animals proved to be overly violent and cutthroat amongst even themselves, Robert Muldoon quarantined the dinosaurs by taking them out of their designed paddock and putting them into a brand new location known as the Raptor Pen. With the animals attacking the fences when the feeders came, a crane system was soon integrated into this new area where the animals would be fed a live cow mechanically. Now, I don't think that I need to really explain how terribly small and inexcusable this enclosure would be for an animal that was the size of a full-grown velociraptor, let alone 3 of them. It's just way too cramped. We should also note that while John Hammond does say that he's been present for every one of these dinosaurs' births, Hammond obviously didn't go on to raise them after the imprinting process had already begun, which means his presence did next to nothing when it came to actually bonding with the animals. Robert Muldoon also seems to be basing most of his own animal containment tactics off of experience that he gained with large mammals in Kenya, most likely creatures like lions, which I should note right here are pretty damn different to velociraptors. The reason all of this information is valuable to both Jurassic World and the Indominus Rex is because the fourth movie takes all of this information and builds off of it in order to tell its story. Owen Grady's relationship with the raptors is entirely different from that of Robert Muldoon and John Hammond. This time, the man who was present for the animals' births not only stays with them, he continues to raise them and feed them as they grow. The animals are also treated much more like birds when it comes to how the handlers deal with their growth. Little details like the bird glove on Grady's hand during scenes in Fallen Kingdom further support this different approach. In Jurassic World, we also see that they're given a much bigger area to perform in, as well as being permitted to go to different places in order to receive hand-to-hand care from the park staff. The design of the new raptor paddock forces the animals to look up at Owen while he feeds them by hand, not too dissimilar to the way that baby birds receive food from their mothers. Now, none of this kind of attention to detail went into how the original park chose to deal with its raptors, and as a result, the animals that eventually broke out were shown to be incredibly violent and overly vicious to everything around them. If you haven't figured it out by now, All of these different tactics and design flaws are why the Indominus Rex turned out to be such a monster in Jurassic World. With that animal's DNA being classified and kept from park staff, most of Jurassic World's employees tried to treat it like another T-Rex, which to their credit was the only thing they knew for a fact was a part of its genome. But since Velociraptor DNA was a major part of that animal's makeup, it naturally would have required all of the care and attention that those animals were receiving from Owen, yet of course, it got none of it in the film. By the end of the movie, Owen Grady's research and dedication to taking care of his animals proved to be the line in the sand that was drawn between the two species. The Raptors of Jurassic World are what you get when you take care of the animals inside of your theme park. The Indominus Rex is what happens when you neglect the special needs and wants of a creature whose only purpose is to bring in more money to the island. Personally, this has always been one of my favorite aspects of the fourth film because it not only explores the idea of human beings' relationships with animals, but it also does so in a way that both introduces a new concept with hybrid dinosaurs, while also tying everything back to the first movie. At the end of the day, the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park aren't really monsters, they're just animals. But animals can become monsters if you don't properly take care of them. And in my opinion, all of this stuff was blended together to make a really compelling entry to reintroduce the franchise. But hey, this is all just what I think about the movie. What are all of your own thoughts and opinions? Whatever they happen to be, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. Now before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. Guys, it seriously means the world to me that you all continue to support what I do, and I never want you to ever forget that. Now, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video, and hope that you all enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.